Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Boss Brand Podcast. I'm your host, Satara Brown, and every week I'm taking you behind the scenes of what it really takes to bet on yourself. Welcome back to another episode. I'm here again in my green. Before we get started, if you are listening to the audio, please head over to YouTube so we can get to our 1,000 subscribers so that I can get monetized. The Girl Boss Brand is the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave us a comment. I really want to know everyone's opinions, and be nice, but I would like to know, what are you looking for in this podcast? How have you been enjoying it, or how have you not been enjoying it? If you have not listened to any of the past episodes, there is a whole bunch. There's 10 episodes, previous episodes for you to listen to. I have been looking for feedback from the community to see, topics that you all want to speak about, different vibes that you're looking for. Do you want to talk about business? Do you want to talk about healing? Do you want to talk about whatever? Entrepreneurship. I am considering starting to have guests on the podcast. And although this is the Girl Boss Brand Podcast, there's a couple of guys that are entrepreneurs that I'm like, hey, I want to have them as guests. So how do you feel about that? Let me know down in the comments. So make sure you jump onto the YouTube channel, the Girl Boss Brand, and give us a comment so we know. I'm also thinking about either like creating a suggestion box, or I went on Instagram today while I was on my way to the studio. Shout out to the Creative Studio 321 here in Cornwall, New York. And I asked people, like, what topics do you want to hear? Ask me a question. And I kind of did it like when I was only like 20 minutes away. So I don't even know if anybody responded. But is that something that you are all looking for? As I mentioned in the last podcast, I really don't want to be scripted. I just want to flow, and like whatever topic it is that I want to speak about is the topic that I want to speak about. I don't want to really get into like oh my God, what am I wearing? How am I showing up? I just want to be authentic. And that's why, hence, I'm in the same outfit again, because we're batch recording, right? And I don't want to change into 4 different outfits. My next outfit is literally going to be what I'm most comfortable in. Shorts and a t-shirt, because that's just my vibe. So I want to show up as myself in every space that I'm in. I no longer want to have any performative in me, like any type of performative methods. It just doesn't align with my life anymore. So like before, I was like taking notes and I was like, okay, this is the topic I'm going to talk about, and I want to make sure I say this. And no, I just want to free flow, and I just want to express myself. In the first season, I had like a guideline, but I was more free flowing, and I like how the audio of that first season was. I didn't like the visual, but I liked the storytelling aspect for me in terms of that. So let me catch you guys up. It's been so much going on. So I've been toying with the idea of whether or not I was going to be offering yoga in the park again for free this summer. Last summer, I thought it was a great idea, and I partnered with a city councilman. Shout out to Councilman Grant for partnering with me every single Sunday last summer in July and August. So for 8 sessions, we provided free yoga in the park. We got some sponsorships and put a little bit of our own money in to have a yoga instructor come and do an hour session. And it was great. We would have anywhere between like 25 and 35 people at each session. It was a lot of people of color. It was a lot of women. And for me, it was bringing something to the community that the community needed. I also felt like I was in a season where I needed to sit still. I didn't want to just run and go on vacation because I could, or I felt stressed out, or like that was my getaway. So having to be here every Sunday last summer forced me to literally have to be in my hometown, because I was working Monday through Friday at the time in the city, and I couldn't travel during the week. So it forced me to be idle, sit down, save my money, not travel. And I think it served its purpose. But one thing is we had it every Sunday because I was trying to accommodate people so much, like other people's schedules and like what does that look like. So we came up with Sunday, and I think it was like at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. Either way, I had to miss church every Sunday. And I had recently found a new church last January, and I was bummed about that. But I just wanted to, like, again, being selfless, I just wanted to like do what I felt was best for the community. And another thing was like every Sunday we provided yoga mats and water, which that doesn't sound like a lot, but like putting the yoga mats in my car every Sunday and going to get water and putting the water in my car and then going to set up, it just took too much out of me. And I don't want to do that this year. So many people are asking me like, oh, I can't wait for yoga in the park. Like, what does yoga in the park look like? I have suggestions. And I am really, well, it's like mid-June already. And I have very little intentions on doing yoga in the park every Sunday. And with that being said, one of my reasons was that, one, I don't want to have to make the commitment, not even just to being in my hometown, but I don't want to have to make the commitment to having to do anything on Sundays, right? And before, my other reasoning was that, I don't want to take away from going to church to do yoga. And that was like a bogus thing to say because I also made the decision that I'm not going to church anymore, and it's just not for me anymore. And while I still have my strong faith in God, going to church is just not in my cards right now. So with that being said, it's very interesting. All of these thoughts are going on. I was supposed to meet with the councilman so that we could like plan things out. Things just didn't align. And then 2 weeks ago, somebody contacted me asking if my wellness brand, the Balance Suite, could do yoga in the park at an event in Poughkeepsie called First Friday. And to me, it just, everything like just clicked at that moment. So First Friday is an event that happens every first Friday of the month, and it's from June until the fall. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this is a space for yoga in the park. And we went last Friday, and it was amazing. And one of the instructors that I had do the free yoga in the park last summer, she joined me and she led the session. And it just goes to show that like you don't always have to overthink everything. I went from saying, okay, maybe we won't do every Sunday. Maybe we'll do it on Saturdays. Maybe we'll do it like Monday nights. Maybe we'll do it like once a month. Maybe we'll do it every other week. I think that sometimes we overcomplicate things in our head. We go down rabbit holes. We literally cause our own problems because, for one, if I never do yoga in the park again, I'm just never doing yoga in the park. Someone else can do it. Up until now, no one has ever did yoga in the park in Poughkeepsie. So what would the difference be? And I feel like because I chose to do yoga in the park for one summer, that I'm obligated to do it forever. And I think that a lot of times when we commit to something, we overextend ourselves, and it's not always our assignment. While I was doing yoga in the park last summer, it was helping me heal. It was helping me ground. It was helping me get my mind set and my mind frame in order so that I am where I am right now. And maybe that just looks different for me, how I serve the community, but I need to also be a little, I don't want to say selfish, but a little less selfless. And I need to ensure that I am pouring into myself. I am taking care of myself before I take care of anyone. And I keep telling myself that over and over and over again, but then here I go toying back and forth with the idea of yoga in the park. Lately, I've been doing a lot of self-care. And for me, self-care, it might look different than what your self-care looks like. For instance, I go and I get a foot massage like once a week. And that's just something that I just like to do. They say that like all of your nerves and everything in your feet align and, connect to your head and whatever else, whatever the scientific background is on that, it's true. So that's something that I enjoy to do. And I think that it's okay for me to continue to learn and be in this space where I'm taking care of myself. And I don't always have to be giving, even in terms of my profession. So I'm a business consultant. My company is called SB Consulting Firm. And in the work that I do, I am giving. So although I am getting paid to do a service, I am still pouring my all into other people's businesses. So I think that's probably why, and I spoke about this a little bit in the last episode, that I'm feeling like I need a balance, because although I am getting paid to provide a service, I am super, super, super giving. And I'm pouring all of my energy into other people's dreams. And I love doing what I do, but I just need to really, and it's a work in progress. It's going to be something that I'm always working at, but I really need to figure out a balance in my life. And that's so funny thinking back into the Balance Suite, my wellness brand that I created. And a lot of it was created around, I wouldn't even say around, but the work of Yoga in the Park spoke a lot to the work of the Balance Suite. And I think that it's time to put that back at the forefront. I found someone on Threads a couple weeks ago and they were looking to rent yoga mats, and they ended up renting yoga mats from the Balance Suite. And I love that I have these touch points in my life that ground me and get me back to my core values and my purpose in life. So I need to focus this summer on doing a little bit more Zen for myself. Instead of providing a service to the community, I need to provide myself with these outlets, whether that's going on daily walks, whether that's going to the gym. I really need to be more selfless. And for me, when I am not taking care of myself, it's all over my face. It shows, it's written. Like, I am very skinny. I've always been skinny. But in order for me to maintain my weight, I have to go to the gym. Like, I am a person that has to go to the gym. I don't have to lift heavy. I don't have to like run on the treadmill for 30 minutes every session, but I have to I absolutely have to go to the gym, because I don't know what the scientific reason behind it is, but I have to have like muscle fat or whatever. And if I don't, I lose weight. My weight does not maintain. So if I don't go to the gym for 2 weeks, or if I only go like once a week and I'm not consistent, it literally shows. This is very, very personal, but 2 weeks ago, I was going to the gym after my graduation, and my dad was like, yeah, how's everything going with your weight? Mind you, I already knew that I'm super skinny. And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, isn't there a scale at the gym? I'm like, actually, no, there's not. He's like, every gym has a scale. And I'm like, no, I go to Planet Fitness now. No, it does not. So I went to his house a week later, and he had a scale in his room, and I stepped on the scale, and the scale said that I was 110 pounds. I'm like, is this scale broke? I have not been 100. I don't even know when I ever was 110 pounds. Like, probably in middle school, but probably not even in middle school, because in middle school I played basketball, so I had like muscle weight. And for me, that was a reality check. Like, it is time to take care of yourself. Like, you eat healthy, you don't eat meat anymore, you're plant-based, but something is missing. You can do all of these great things, but if something is missing from the equation, all of those things do not even matter. I'm like, how can I be 110 pounds? I have never gotten on the scale and saw 110 pounds. So I immediately got in the gym, been going like 4 times a week. In addition to like walking or doing yoga. I can't just walk. I can't just do yoga. I have to go to the gym. So a week later, I go to my dad's house again, and it says I'm 124 pounds. And I'm like, you can't gain 15 pounds in 1 week. Or can you? I don't know. Either way, I'm not looking as skinny as I was. My weight is coming back. And just that small change of going to the gym, and it doesn't even matter. For me personally, it doesn't matter if I go to the gym for 20 minutes. I just have to be doing something. And my cousins, they say when I go to the gym, the only thing I do is stretch. Listen, whatever floats my boat, I have to be consistent and I have to keep doing it. So I went to the doctor's office a couple days after I weighed myself at my dad's house. And I was like, you know what? Maybe my dad's scale is just broken. And so I weighed myself at the doctor's office and it said I was 124.5. So 125, which is my normal weight. I'm anywhere between like 125 and 130 normally. But if I'm like really working out, I'll be like 135. So it's just so amazing how quickly things can change when you make one small change. It literally does not kill me to go to the gym. I actually go to Planet Fitness because they're 24/7 and I'm able to, like, if I'm an entrepreneur, so like what is sleep? I go sometimes at 1 o'clock in the morning or like 5 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock at night. So, I really like want to be the girl who goes to that fancy gym and we have yoga and Pilates in the sauna here. And it just doesn't work in my life. It just really doesn't work. And Planet Fitness works. And if it is not broke, don't fix it. When I started going to the gym that had the sauna and yoga and all that, the hours were limited. It opened at like 7 a.m. No, it opened at 6 a.m. when I really needed it to open at 5 so I can go to the gym before I started my day. And then it closed at like 10 o'clock at night. So like for me, it was cool. It was nice. It's like, oh yeah, you go to Mike Ortega's, but it just didn't fit my lifestyle. It didn't fit my needs and it didn't fit my wants. And it literally showed. I was like, I don't know, super, super, super skinny. And I'm like, what is going on? Because I'm eating the protein. I'm doing all of the things. Although I'm plant-based and I don't eat meat anymore, I'm making sure I drink my smoothies and everything of that sort. And it's just not working. So although I've been a little stressed out, I have found some happiness and joy and relief and finding what works for myself. And also, it's been a great win just seeing like a small turnaround time of a week. Who knows if I really gained 15 pounds in 1 week, but I look better. I feel better. I see the muscle. And, I just think that sometimes it's hard because we don't always see instant results and things, but we just have to, like I keep saying, keep our head down and keep going because the results will show whether it's 3 months from now, 3 years from now, or whatever it is. Right now, I am on a run. I always see a saying that says, like, if you lock in for 6 months, you will get ahead 5 years in life. And while we're in the midway point of this year, I feel like I locked in the first 6 months, but this lock in for the next 6 months is about to be crazy. So stay tuned. Make sure you tune in to next week's episode so you can keep up with all of the happenings and see what's going on with the Girl Boss brand.